Hello, my name is Gene Wisnand. I am the Vice President and one of the lead firearms instructors for Trident Firearms Academy, LLC. Today I'm going to be talking about the Kel-Tec KSG Shotgun. Before I get into that, though, there are two pieces of information I want to get out. One is, of course, I'm getting over a cold, which you can probably tell by the sound of my voice. And number two, all firearms used by me have been, triple checked. They are unloaded. There is no ammunition in the immediate vicinity, and there is no ammunition in this room for any of the firearms I'll be handling this afternoon. So, on to the Kel-Tec Shotgun. This is the Kel-Tec KSG Shotgun. It has a couple of really nice features. It is a bullpup pump action shotgun, meaning that the action is behind the trigger group. Kel-Tec lists it as $990 on their website. You may be able to find it a little bit cheaper at your local gun store. However, supply and demand is in full effect. They are difficult to get a hold of, therefore prices tend to be a little bit on the high side. The unmodified weight of this shotgun is 6.9 pounds. The overall height, again prior to modification, is 7 inches. Overall length, prior to modification again, is 26.1 inches. Of course, with some of the modifications I've done, those sizes and weight do not apply. The barrel length is 18 inches. I'm sorry, 18 and a half inches. And it has a dual internal magazine tube, 2 tubes. Is rated for 3-inch shells. With 3-inch shells, you will get 6 in each tube, so you'll have 6 plus 6 plus 1 in the chamber. And with 2 3/4-inch shells, which I generally tend to use more often, you'll have 7 in each tube, so you'll have 7 plus 1 in the chamber. This shotgun does have a bottom load, bottom eject, which I'll discuss in a little bit. And I mentioned earlier that this was a second generation shotgun. The differences between the first and second generation are, one of them is a trigger reset. It was given a trigger reset job in the second generation, so the trigger rebounds forward slightly. And there are small viewing holes in the magazine tubes to show the loaded condition. For instance, you'll see those little holes right there, one on each tube. And also on the top, you also have them up here on the top on both sides. And then on the rear of the barrels, again, you have viewing holes here, here, and here, and here, here, and here. So you can check the loaded condition of your shotgun. They also, in the second generation, changed the slide action release button, or tab, made it ambidextrous, so it can be done either by right-handed or left-handed. So there you have it. There's the basic shotgun. Now I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of the KSG shotgun design. One of the benefits is the bottom ejects here. So if I'm shooting with my dominant side, I get the shells dropping straight down. If I transition over to my support side, I still get the shells dropping down right here in the same downward fashion. So I'm not being struck in the face by ejected shells. They're not obstructing my field of view. It's a nice feature of bullpup designs in general, this one specifically. The overall size, I feel, is a great benefit to this shotgun. Very compact. One of the things I'm looking at doing with this shotgun, if it survives some more torture tests, is becoming my truck gun. I can toss it into a nice, small, discreet bag, keep it in my truck in case of emergency, and I don't have doesn't take up a whole lot of space, allows me maneuverability. Even inside a building, the overall length allows quick maneuverability inside a building. Also allows you to, if the need should arise, to be able to open doors a lot more conveniently than it does with a full-length shotgun. I'm generally not a big fan of pistol grips on shotguns, specifically the Mossberg style, because of the length of time it takes up to hit the safety on the rear tang on a Mossberg style shotgun. On a 870, I can see them a little bit better with the location of the safety, but the slide action release button is going to be in front of your trigger guard, which makes the trigger guard, the pistol grip a little more difficult, a little more complicated to work with. However, with this one, the controls are all designed to work with the pistol grip, including the safety. There it's on fire, on safe. It gives you a nice little button, tells you where it is, but it's intuitive to most people who shoot semi-automatic handguns anyway. So the pistol grip allows you to tuck it in for work. I wouldn't suggest shooting it from this position. It does have a nice little kick. In a pinch, if I had to, I could, but shotguns are designed to be aimed, not pointed. The parts of the shotgun, the cons, if you will, it's very slow to reload. You can do, and I've been practicing doing speed loads like that, coming up from underneath and loading it up. It's a bit complicated on the right and left tubes. Generally, we find most people prefer just to, if they have to, load it this way and then come back into the fight. So slow to load is the one of the cons or downsides of the shotgun. However, that's at least partially offset with the magazine capacity as a pro for the benefit of the design. Most shotguns generally have a 6, maybe a 7-shot capacity magazine tube. This one gives you 7 and 7 prior to needing to do any reloads. So hopefully with that 7 plus 7 plus 1, you can solve your problem, or at least buy time to have to reload. Good design. I like the overall length, the bottom eject, magazine capacity. It's a nice shotgun. Now I want to talk a little bit about some of the modifications, or about all the modifications I've done to this shotgun since I've acquired it. First, and probably one of the most noticeable changes, is the sights. These are standard A2 fixed sights, raised sights. You might find on an AR style rifle. The benefit to these, a couple benefits. One, they're raised, which allows it to bring it up into the shooting position. Mounting it correctly, it comes right up into my line of sight without me having to move my head down, which is a bad thing to do on a shotgun. It's my familiarity with these sights. I've trained with these for a very long time. Carried them on my rifle when I was in the service. One of the other big benefits of these sights is, of course, they are cheap, and I tend to be cheap. You'll see about that later. They're very cheap. I don't remember the manufacturer of them. I don't remember the exact price. They were cheap. I really have no desire to mount an electronic side on my shotgun. It's this, again, assuming the shotgun survives more torture tests, this shotgun is destined to be abused. The sights, electronic sights on it, aren't necessary for me at the ranges I'll be using it, and the purpose of the shotgun is in general. One of the other modifications I've done to the shotgun is the muzzle brake on the tip of the barrel here. In the notes down below this, I will have links to all the manufacturers' websites. And so with this is a high-tech custom concepts muzzle brake. One of the reasons I put this on was because of the shortness of the overall length of the gun. I had fears of my hand coming forward, and I wanted something to be able to hopefully protect myself a little bit on it. There also is the claim that it has a slight reduction in felt recoil. Having not fired this rifle or this shotgun prior to installing the muzzle brake, I can attest to that. It has a stout recoil, but it's not uncontrollable by any means. This may or may not help. The extended magazine tube selector right here. This is also a piece that I added. This is metal. The original, it's aluminum, aircraft aluminum. The original is plastic and much smaller. It too is made by High-Tech Custom Concepts. One of the things I like about this is the ease at which changing feeding tubes. I'll start with it on the right tube all the time. Once it goes, I get a click instead of a bang. All I got to do is swing my wrist, and now it's feeding from the left. So fire it out, click it over, finish firing out the left tube, and then reload in reverse order. So I really do like this extended selector switch. The sling that I've got on this shotgun is a Magpul MS1 sling. The nice thing about it's a 2-point sling, which I generally prefer on a pump action shotgun. On most shotguns, I prefer the 2-point sling. It's also very easily adjustable just by pulling this slider. If I need to make it a little bit longer, generally I carry it very short, mounts it nice and tight, allows me to come up on target, give me some tension here to steady the weapon. If I need to transition to my sport side hand, just a matter of pulling this back and switching over, and I never lose the benefit of having a sling. Of course, I could always take this sling off and transition over, but if I need to transition to my sidearm or a different weapon system, I prefer having the sling. So the MS1 sling for Magpul. The other thing I added on this was the extended Picatinny rail down here on the bottom of the forearm. The reason I got this, or a couple of reasons I originally got this. One, the Picatinny rail that's directly to the foregrip is made of plastic, and of course it's short. This one gives the extension. Again, I was going to mount a stop up here in the front and one in the back to keep my hand from sliding off the end of the rail. And also on the back portion here, and something I don't hear mentioned much on this, if you squeeze this shotgun and your hand is overflowing on the back of this rail, imagine getting the meat of your hand stuck between these 2 points like that. That's going to hurt. Going to leave a little bit of a bruise. It's going to hurt for a while. So front and rear needed to have a stop. This extended Picatinny rail, also from High-Tech Custom Concepts, has 4 mounting points. So it mounts at multiple points along the Picatinny rail on the foregrip, so it won't work its way loose, and it won't rip off the plastic railing underneath there, which became more important when I decided to switch to my next point, which is one of the other things that this rail does. It allows me room to mount my vertical foregrip and a light, which I'll get into in a moment. The Stubby Tango Down vertical foregrip from Tango Down, it has, one of the benefits of it, of course, is that it's a quick detach. I'm pretty much going to leave it on here all the time, so that is less a benefit as much as it is it just is. It's quick detach, not really good or bad, it just is. It does have a small storage space here. Currently I'm at a little bit of a loss as to what to store in here. I've considered M&Ms, probably peanut M&Ms, because I like the peanut M&Ms more than any of the chocolate. But other than that, I'm really not sure what to store in there. Using the vertical foregrip, I don't grip it like I guess some people think you should. I tend to cup it more, which coupled with the light helps a lot. But it also gives me a good solid control of the slide when the slide action going to the rear and forward. One of the things I noticed in the beginning was that on that forward sweep, you get about halfway as the round just starts to crawl under the chamber, and you really got to give it an added little shove forward to get over that hump. And that was really starting to wear on my arms. Of course, it could be because I'm out of shape, it could be because I'm old, whatever the reason. adding this foregrip up here seemed to help a lot. Kept me from hitting that. I prefer the small one, the small stubby grip, because I don't want a whole bunch of stuff. I've already made this firearm significantly larger than it was to start with. I didn't make it even larger than it had to be. One of the other benefits of this grip is I now have little to no risk of my hand slipping off in front of the gun, which could be painful to say the least. After the vertical foregrip, we're going to move on to the offset scout mount from Veltor that I have my light mounted in. Again, you can take this on and off, finger tight on the screws. I'm going to leave it there. It's not to me, the light on the shotgun is not a luxury; it's a requirement. So having it mounted off to the side does a couple of things for me. One, it allows me to, the way I grip my shotgun, allows me to get into the push it with the meat of the hand for momentary on, momentary off. Yeah, so there's your offset from Veltor. The last part up here is going to be the Surefire 6PX tactical light, tactical flashlight. Beautiful. It fits perfectly inside the Veltor offset scout mount. Nice thing about this flashlight is, well, a couple good things. It's a good sturdy light. It has the tail cap has a button for momentary on. It doesn't lock on. I don't want it to lock on unless I don't want to inadvertently get it locked on. All I've got to do is twist the end cap for if I want constant on. But generally, I'm going to want it momentary on for when I need it, when I don't want it. I don't want to be confused with various brightnesses. You know, the light, the dark, or the strong or weak light, on, off. Just a momentary on is all I want from that button. If I want it constant on, all I have to do is twist the tail cap. The other big thing about this light is it is also 320 lumens, so it's a very bright light. I'll show you. See, very bright light. 320 lumens. 2.5 hours of runtime on it. And it's cheap. It's a $90 light. Surefire, you can buy it straight from Surefire's website for $90. Local gun stores, I'm sure, are carrying it cheaper. Surefire is constantly running sales, so I'm sure you can get it less expensive if you want to go through one of their sale or wait for a sale for it. A very good light. In addition to that, I've got these cheap plastic rail covers. Operative word in that sentence is cheap. I like cheap things. Also, I don't like sharp edges on this portion of my shotgun or this portion back here. These little parts, everything, all my the rails, the Picatinny rails. If I'm not using them, they're all covered by these rail covers, these plastic rubber rail covers, because they're cheap. Side note on this shotgun, the burnt brown color, or the burnt bronze color rather, was all that was available when my partner and I ordered these shotguns. So we both got consecutive numbered burnt bronze on it. It's kind of warming up on me. I'm kind of warming up to it. It gives it a little bit of character. If I had my choice, I probably would have gone with the black. But like I said, it's kind of warming up to the idea of giving the gun a little bit of character. Also, pure coincidence, it seems to almost exactly match the MS1 Sling from Magpul. So there you have it. There's the Kel-Tec KSG second generation bullpup shotgun.